This is CBN News Watch.
Thanks for joining us for CBN News Watch for this Labor Day. I'm Mark Martin. Hurricane Dorian is churning away as a catastrophic Category 5 storm heading toward the United States southeastern coast. It tortured the Bahamas overnight with wind gusts topping 200 miles per hour. Dale Hurd reports on what happened there and what's expected next.
Complete devastation. Look at these cars, man.
This was some of the first video this morning from the Bahamas. The results of 185-mile-per-hour maximum sustained winds and gusts up to 220 miles per hour, tying the record for the most powerful Atlantic hurricane to ever make landfall. Silbert Mills is owner of the Bahamas Christian Network.
Like nothing I've never been through. It really feels like you are helpless and that you have to depend solely on the mercies of the good Lord who has full control over nature. And the elements of nature we can never understand.
The Bahamian Prime Minister called Sunday the saddest and worst day, tweeting, "We are facing a hurricane that we have never seen in the Bahamas. Please pray for us." And the strongest hurricane on record to strike the region is now inching towards the Florida coastline. President Trump visiting FEMA headquarters Sunday.
A Category 5 is something that I don't know that I've ever even heard the term, other than I know it's there. That's the ultimate, and that's what we have, unfortunately.
The slow-moving hurricane is expected to turn north and begin a week-long torrent of wind and rain on the southeast coast. The South Carolina governor has ordered evacuations along the coast, and both North and South Carolina have declared states of emergency. Acting FEMA Administrator Pete Gaynor said Americans need to pay attention to this storm.
Don't dismiss this storm. We are not out of it. Life-threatening, dangerous surge, water, wind is coming your way. Take the time now to prepare you and your family.
Florida Senator Rick Scott says his worry is that Floridians will think they're off the hook.
We're going to get storm surge. We're going to get a lot of rain. The closer it gets to Florida or into Florida, we're going to get more rain that can cause flooding. So take it seriously. Over-prepare. Don't under-prepare.
Some people are heeding the warning, beginning to evacuate their homes and stocking up on gas and supplies of food and water. The storm is expected to stay about 40 to 50 miles off the Florida coast, but forecasters say a slight shift in track could bring it on shore. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
We go now to Chuck Holton, who joins us from Juno Beach with more on how folks are bracing for the storm. Chuck, how are things there?
Well, we're just starting to get the outer bands of the storm this morning. And what we're seeing here, this is low tide right now, and the waves are starting to come up. There's a tremendous amount of force that's coming in. We're seeing some people come down to try to take a look at what's going on, take pictures and stuff. But without a doubt, people are getting ready by boarding up their windows and closing their storm shutters and hoping and praying that this thing does not decide to make landfall right here.
Yeah, talk a little bit more about that concern in the area, even if Dorian just skirts that part of Florida.
Well, considering the strength of this storm, you're talking about something that these people have not even seen before in living memory. And so they're not really sure what to expect from that. Everybody, they have had lots of hurricanes here, and they are, prepared as much as they can be. But even this morning, there are some gas stations that are still open, some stores that are still open. But I'm sure that will change here as the day goes on.
What else are you hearing there, Chuck?
As I talk to the people here, they're already starting to think ahead and say, where will they go if they do lose their home, or where will they go? Where are the closest shelters? And some of the churches and security teams at these churches are making preparations to start to take people in if that's necessary.
Okay, well, you're a former Army Ranger. Talk about, how you're viewing this storm, and I'm sure you're thinking of survival skills and so forth. Talk a little bit about that.
I went through two big hurricanes last year, Hurricane Florence and Hurricane Irma. Irma? I think that's what it was. Anyway, both here, one in South Carolina and one in Florida. And Florence was not that bad. I rode that out right on the front line there, right at ground zero. But after seeing what Hurricane Michael did in South the Panhandle, Mexico Beach, and that sort of thing, I'm a little more worried because I saw a power that I've never seen before. And when you see whole subdivisions that are just wiped clean, there's just nothing left of them, no houses left, that is a major problem.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, Chuck, thank you for your report and stay safe, sir.
Thank you very much.
Florida officials are taking no chances with Dorian. They're calling on residents to be prepared. CBN's Eric Phillips reports they're making sure resources are ready to move into action when Dorian passes.
Florida Power and Light put out the call for help, and this army of utilities you see here is who responded. 16,000 men and women from 34 states, all here to help put the pieces back together after the monstrous storm called Dorian passes through. Utility trucks roll into Daytona Motor Speedway in droves. Power officials say even if Florida's East Coast dodges Dorian's delivery of disaster,
there will be outages.
And they're ready after putting out a big call. Workers flowing in to be farmed out.
This site behind us is one of 20 that we've identified throughout the state that allow us to pre-position crews in strategic locations where we anticipate some of the hardest hit areas to be able to deploy these crews as soon as it's safe to do so following the storm to get right to work restoring power for our customers.
And Lord God, we thank you that storm is continuing to move out of this place, away from us in Jesus' name.
Worshippers at Calvary Christian Church in Ormond Beach are praising God for shifting the storm a couple of days ago, lessening the threat here, though they'd stockpiled supplies in a local warehouse just in case. With forecasters still tracking a few different paths for the storm, the faithful are looking for another move of God to influence Dorian's decision.
You know, we just pray and believe and speak and declare that our God is God over the winds and the waves and the storms. And we believe that God has heard us.
Don't touch the Georgia or the Carolinas, just east, east, east.
Between the army of the Lord and the army on the ground, this area seems as prepped as possible. And if the effects of the storm are felt more severely elsewhere, they're also ready to help their neighboring states. In Daytona Beach, Eric Phillips, CBN News.
Thank you, Eric. We'll be right back with more news, including a report from Israel on an attack on the northern border there.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com. Want to be a part of a community that inspires your spiritual growth while winning prizes? The all-new MyCBN app. Connect with the community for prayer and encouragement. Track and set spiritual goals. Enjoy conversation starters with friends and family. And collect points to win prizes. The all-new MyCBN app. A great place to belong. Download the app at cbn.com/mobile. Grow, connect, have fun. The all-new MyCBN app.
Watch breaking news, in-depth exclusive stories and programs, from health to entertainment you won't find anywhere else. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Enjoy credible news reporting from around the world. Discover inspiring programs and stories of hope, all in one place from a Christian perspective. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Check your local listings or visit cbnnewschannel.com.
Come
Come home to the sounds of Southern Gospel from CBN Radio. You'll enjoy a rich Southern blend of bluegrass, classic gospel, and Southern gospel favorites like the Gaithers, the Crabb Family, and bluegrass sounds like Mountain Faith. So make yourself at home with the all-new CBN Southern Gospel. Now available at cbnradio.com.
A West Texas community is in shock and grief following the loss of 7 people in a mass shooting near Odessa this weekend. It began when police pulled over the suspect for a traffic stop. Police say he opened fire, wounding 1 officer and sped away. At one point, the suspect, 36-year-old Seth Ader, stole a postal service van and killed the driver, then randomly fired on people in his path. It ended with Ader crashing the van into a police car. He was killed in a shootout with officers. He reportedly lost his job earlier that day. A 17-month-old baby girl was among the wounded and is expected to make a full recovery. The Chinese state media warns the end is coming for those attempting to disrupt Hong Kong and antagonize China. Protesters defied orders not to demonstrate over the weekend, and things turned violent between the two. The protests began nearly 3 months ago after the government introduced an extradition bill that would have sent suspects facing trial to mainland China. That bill has since been tabled, but protesters are afraid their freedoms remain at risk. It was a tense weekend in Israel as well, where the Israeli Defense Forces, they were under attack on the nation's northern border and had to strike back. CBN's Chris Mitchell has the latest.
The Israel Defense Forces say for now it appears the fighting is over with Hezbollah, but that they're prepared for more fighting if necessary. What many had expected for days came late Sunday afternoon. Hezbollah fired several anti-tank missiles at an IDF position inside Israel. The IDF responded with artillery, blasting Hezbollah positions inside Lebanon. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel fired 100 shells from the land and the air. He said there were no Israeli casualties, no injuries, not even a scratch. However, Iran's television network, Press TV, reported Hezbollah killed a senior IDF commander. This is Iran's version of fake news. The current situation began several days ago when Iran tried to send a killer drone into the Golan Heights. Israel stopped that attack, and then Israel struck a key component of Hezbollah's effort inside Lebanon to manufacture precision-guided missiles in order to strike Israel. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah vowed retaliation, and his deputy said they planned a calculated strike but did not want to spark another war with Israel. However, calculated strikes are not an exact science. 13 years ago, what began as a small Hezbollah ambush erupted into a month-long war between Israel and Hezbollah. But it appears, at least for now, that what began today will not flare up into a full-scale conflict. We'll keep up to date with the latest developments with CBN News. I'm Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Coming up, celebrating Labor Day and a closer look at what's happening to meet the needs for skilled labor in today's workforce and how it could mean better paying jobs for the younger generation.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
On October 1st, 1961, history was made when a tiny station began transmitting the first signals of the Christian Broadcasting Network.
CBN, the Christian Broadcasting Network.
And now, A new era has begun with the all-new CBN News Channel.
Just moments ago, the Iron Dome intercepted an incoming rocket right on the Gaza border.
Administering in this area, spiritual warfare is definitely involved.
A 24/7 news network, bringing you the news you want from a source you can trust.
In Kenya, 40% of the medical services are actually provided by these Christian hospitals.
Let's talk about the economy.
Believers here are joining together to win people to Jesus Christ.
All your favorite shows now in one place. Go to CBNNewsChannel.com to find out how to get the CBN News Channel on your TV all day, every day. CBN News.
We celebrate America's workforce this Labor Day holiday, but one reality for the nation is that our skilled labor is shrinking. Fewer people are equipped for doing what are often called blue-collar jobs. Now companies and schools are finding new ways to solve the problem and fill the void. Pursuing a traditional college degree isn't for everyone, especially these days.
We each have our own set of interests, our own set of skills, and a different set of drivers in regards to what makes us happy and what makes us feel fulfilled.
Taking that path can also help our nation's economy. National estimates indicate that over the next 10 years, nearly 3.5 million manufacturing jobs will probably be needed. But get this, 2 million of those may remain unfilled because of a skills gap.
It's a global issue that we're seeing. It's definitely something they see in Europe as well. So it is very, very serious.
Lorraine Wagner, Vice President of Operations for Steel, an international company which produces outdoor power equipment, says today's applicants don't have the technical skill sets required. She believes it stems from a stigma against manufacturing, that it's industrial revolution kind of work, dirty and grimy, something to avoid.
And I think that something that we at Steel are trying to do is promote that industry itself and manufacturing is a very fun, dynamic environment to be in. It's very high tech, and it is something where we need to bridge the gap of the years where people have decided, oh, we just want to go to college, we really don't want to follow an apprenticeship program that we used to do years ago. We think college is far more important, and really it isn't. There are different routes that people can take.
Steel is trying to close the gap through its apprenticeship program. Apprentices learn skills including mechatronics, a combination of mechanical and electrical engineering. Coordinator Skip Johnson says the program is working.
Steel's making a huge difference because not only do we train apprentices for our openings here, but we have opened this apprenticeship program where we accept apprentices from other companies.
I'm here in what's called the Apprentice Lab, the place where the apprentices go through a skilled trades boot camp. It's here where they learn the basics of their craft before more extensive training on the manufacturing floor. Ryan Buzzy is a third-year apprentice.
It fits me because, when I go out to a machine and let's say the machine has a problem, I want to know why, and I want to know exactly what caused it and how it can be prevented in the future.